Welcome back. Last time we started some preliminary magic stuff, as well as some sort of generalized setting up of things. This time, I will continue pretty much doing the same. I have a bit of an idea of what a few mods I'm already working towards, and we're just going to continue working towards that. Another thing worth noting is I've looked at my analytics, and the Warframe community seems a little reactive. For if you look at my channel history, um, I've uploaded 5 Warframe videos. Everything else is Minecraft. And yet about 90% of my dislikes are on Warframe videos. It really means my viewers really don't want to see Warframe, and I don't have a consistent viewer base, so that seems unlikely. Or the Warframe community doesn't like what I had to say. So I'm going to try to stick to my lane. I still have a positive like ratio on those. It doesn't mean nobody liked them, it just means they were generally less liked than I would want. So, anyways, I started doing some stuff with occultism. We have our little man over there. And this time I'm going to be moving forward with a different mod. You think I'm getting... Why am I jumping between mods? Because I can. I don't have a particularly good reason, I just want to. And so today's a nice day out, which is why I'm playing Minecraft instead. Now I went out for a bit with some friends, with a friend, and we hit a good stopping point in our day, and we was like, yeah, no, we're good. I tried to extend it into playing some sports ball, but he wasn't feeling it, so that's it for that. So here we are. He lost his phone, but the people who are at the front just were given his phone, and they made sure he could unlock it first. That way, you know, they don't just give it to a random stranger. Which, I mean, that's a good call. I agree wholeheartedly with what they've done with making him unlock it, because it's a good point that he should be able to unlock it. If it's his phone, that is. Not his phone, then he shouldn't be able to unlock it. If somebody guessed his password, then that's on him. But I mean, I called his phone, but he has it on vibrate. And it's sort of something I've felt in general is that I keep my phone's volume on when I can, and then I turn it off for like when I'm in classes. Because it's just sort of, it can get annoying, I'm sure. That, you know, if my phone were to go off from like a spam message. So I generally put it on silence, but I don't like putting my phone on silence. I also don't have a password on my phone because if somebody does happen to find my phone and wants to return it, then they can't because I have a password on it. So they are physically unable to return my phone to me if they wanted to. And I'm not a big fan of that. Anyways, this dagger's whole point is the ability to stab yourself. And that's what I used it for. So this mod has a lot of anime-inspired, let's call it, moves. Some of which I will be taking effect in, some of which I find really funny. But specifically, I'm looking for this one. All right. I need some of these and some of these. I think 4. No, I remember incorrectly. What was it called? Not called the diamond thing. No, that has a bunch of other things. Was it just called the... Oh, it was just called the mortar and pestle. Mortar. Oh, right, 2 bricks, but then this piece requires, yeah, 3 diamonds. Okay. Remember, it costs 4 diamonds. Just forgot the brick part. You can also use a hammer, but it's less efficient. And I mean, we got the diamonds to spare to start our magic mod packs. And you'll see why I need this shortly. It's called the Catalyst Exchange, is what I'm building. So this device, in case you could get... Aha, sugarcane! It was right next to my base this entire time, just on the other side. I'm going to break it on and move it closer to my... You know what? No. We'll just replant it all right here. This is sort of my crop area. Sort of messed up the line, but you know, it's fine. There we go. I need some clay for some bricks to make my mortar, which is half the battle of the mortar and pestle. Asian box turtle. You just pick them up. I did remember you could do that from Untamed Wilds, but I couldn't pick up the snakes earlier, so I thought maybe it was changed in some way. Maybe you just can't pick up snakes with your bare hands. Suppose it is possible that they would disallow such an activity. Though, no, there's plenty of capable people. Why is there still copper and silver on these? Shouldn't you have consumed those when you were summoned? No, well. Not particularly too concerned with the likes of that. Anyways, I need the emerald to make a catalyst exchange, and you're going to see why I need the catalyst exchange. It won't be very difficult to figure out. So, for those of you astute enough to observe, I am making a mortar and pestle and making a catalyst converter. So now I'm going to put 2 emeralds into the mortar and pestle, and it'll give me 4 powder. I'm going to put 4 powder on this circle, and now it has become the catalyst exchange. And you see it's animated and doing spins and stuff. Now, why did I do this? Well, there are different types of catalysts in Mahosukan. Majority of which belong to... Majority of which are expensive. So the catalysts are iron, gold, diamond, emerald, quartz, ender pearl, and eye of ender. Those are the catalysts you can grind up in the mortar and pestle and produce the parts of. Now, some of those ingredients are quite expensive. So if I take 15 iron, I can turn it into 30 powdered iron, and I throw it onto there. And it spits out a bunch of these. Now you're going to say, what's the downside? My attuned diamond, which before had like almost 3,000 Mahoy in it, now has gone down to 1,235. So I've used about 2,000 Mahoy instantly. But now I have some powdered gold, some powdered quartz, some powdered diamonds, some powdered eye, some powdered emerald. But I didn't get any ender, but that's fine. Because what I believe I need is regarding the eye. Because I need mystic eyes of Fey Sight. Just 3 eyes, but it does require a cloth. Now, the cloth is something that it requires wool. I'm not sure if it requires specifically white wool or if any wool will do. So I'm going to go to the Twilight Forest, where I still have a spectral steed remaining. And I'm going to look for, there we have it, a sheep. Or, well, a ram, but you can shear them like sheep. One Well, let's see, can I turn it into... No, and that's still the... Yeah, so it does need to be white wool. What is this? Cloth. Can I turn cloth? I turn it into ninja stuff. Oh, but I can... But I can turn 4 of it into 1 white wool. All right, there we go. So I can unravel any wool and turn it into white wool. And I can the white wool into spell cloth. Now, you might be thinking, oh, what's spell cloth? Well, you saw how I put the catalyst converter just on the ground. Well, yeah, some spells require that when you stab yourself, you then put the circle on the cloth instead. And then when you put all 3 in, you right click it once more. You make scrolls of whatever it is that you have used. And a scroll is a one-time use spell, essentially. So sleeping also regenerates Mahoi. But you might be wondering what these Mystic Eyes do. Well, they do great many things, but specifically, they serve one major purpose for me, and I need Eyes of Ender in order, more eye powder in order to do it. Okay, there's 1 Ender powder. I didn't get any eye powder, but I'm going to keep all these powders because they're useful. I mean, they're all more expensive than iron, so make sure we do that. Now, this exchange does cost me some mana, so, you know, I don't have an infinite amount, and I don't have an infinite amount of gold yet. Now, quartz isn't too rare. We'll be able to get an abundance when we get to the nether, so we'll do some conversion of some quartz. Yes, I'm aware I have some quartz dust in there, but there's 1 eye. There's 2 eye. There's 3 eye. You may be wondering, why do I need 3 scrolls? Well, technically, I don't need 3 scrolls. I'm getting 3 scrolls because I'm assuming that I'll need 3 scrolls. But what does it do? What does this scroll do? Well, it's going to consume mana on usage. That's one thing it'll do. And I have 398, so I have 400 mana left. This uses 100 on use. So now I'm going to have to hope to get lucky. So I'm going to go into a more open area. Going to be do something very specific. Going to start running around and I'm going to look at my Mahoi counter. And I'm going to wait for my Mahoi counter to regenerate, which you're seeing it's doing by 1s. Ah, but just here it went up by 2. Now it's going up by 2s. So I'm going to use the first scroll and I'm going to show you a ley line. Should be using. Oh, there we go. And there we are. See, I was on a ley line, which is why I was regenerating 2. But now I need to quickly chase this ley line and hope I'm going in the right direction to find... I have 10 seconds left in the potion effect. There it is. That's what I'm looking for. The point where several ley lines converge. I saw it was right here. We're going to mark this. And that bell. I'm trying to see if I can do this without. Lost the bell. So as I'm on all the ley lines, which should be right here, I should be on more than one. My Maho is going up by 2. Can it go up by more? 2. Definitely was about like right here. Anyways, we are regenerating. Alright, you heard those jingle bells. Now I need to hear those jingle bells again. You're going to be standing here while I wait to hear the bells again. This isn't too far from my base, so I'm not too discouraged from this location. But on a ley line, you regenerate Mahoi faster, which is why I made sure to find a ley line before I used my first scroll, because I want to find this circle where they all meet up, because it should be even better than just one. But I need to hear those bells again, because I specifically need to kill the creature making those bells, or making that bell sound. Now, specifically, there's an item they drop that I need, and I know no other way to get it than to kill them. I realize I've left the beaten path, but I stepped on a line over here. A decent little watering hole. Sorry, I got distracted. And my goal is to sit here and wait for more of those bells. Now those bells can only, this creature that makes that sound can only spawn on ley lines if you regenerate mana on a ley line. Or Mahoi on a ley line. So, I am on 4 ley lines. So theoretically I should be here when, or I should have essentially 4 times the mana regeneration, and thus 4 times the ley lines I am spawning it on. Even if it's only works for 1 at a time, being in the center of the ley lines is cooler. So something my friend was showing me when we were out was he saw some memes that had to do with Gilgamesh from Fate, and he was asking me where they're from because it looked like a new source of them. And I said, I don't know. I would have heard about a new Fate with Gilgamesh. So I looked it up while we were out, and sure enough, they're making a new Fate, Fate Strange Fake. And it looks interesting. It's still being produced. Apparently it has like a 1-episode like film-ish type thing. It said 55 minutes, but it also said film, so. Oh, there's the bell. I'm not exactly on the center of the land, so this is the actual dead center. And it isn't 4, it's 8. But I killed the creature, and it dropped 1 Fey Essence. And the reason I got 3 is because I need... It's because I need 2, I believe. Or do I need 3? No, it's 2. But that's how short the scroll lasts. I need 2 of these. And I can show you what I'm going to craft with it. The suspense isn't that important. Why isn't it? There we go. So now that I have the Fey Essence, I'll show you what can be crafted with it. You can make a Fey Cake. You can make a Mystic Code. You can make a Mana Circuit. Now, I said I needed 2. So either that means I need 2 Fey cakes, or I'm making the Mystic Code first sorcery. Which is what I'm making. I'm making the Mystic Code first sorcery. What are these used for? I'll read what the first sorcery does, or what the Mystic Code, and then first sorcery. Yep, I know what that one does. What does a mana circuit do? Mana circuits are blocks which store mana. Mana can be put into them as long as the player is nearby, as long as the player owns the block. Is that what I was looking at? Mana circuit, yep. I think it used to look different. Oh, there's the Magitech mana circuit as well. That's the one I was thinking of. So they're different. This looks smaller and probably more expensive, while this is cheaper. And those little pixies can be hard to hit, so I got pretty lucky that this one was easy to hit. There's the second bell. You survived the first hit. Come on, no. No, don't get away from me, please. There we go. Whew. That can get real annoying. And technically, because there are a lot of these 8 lines everywhere, they go into many different directions. Now that I've done all that, I am now pretty spent on Mahoi, so can't really cast that many more spells. So why did I need... Or what does the first Mystico do? Well, I'll tell you, since I'm about to craft it. It's a fun item that allows you to store 3 of those spell scrolls from the cloths and cast those spells repeatedly at the cost of the durability of the spell of the first sorcery instead of consuming the spell scroll. And now you might start realizing, like, oh, okay, so you can just keep repairing it over and over again. Oh, hello, my spectral steed. We need to go back and find that same ram we've been bullying. I need more wool. Would you be willing to oblige? Thank you. He's only dropping 1s at a time. I mean, it's enough because I just need I need 6 in order to make the Mystic Code, and there was 5 more in the chest, so I only needed 1, but they crafted 4s. So. Well, I mean, technically, also I can make 3 spells, so to put in my Mystic Code, so that counts for something. Now, what you might be thinking, like, what happens if you put a spell that doesn't require cloth on a cloth? I don't think it does anything. So this is what it looks like. It looks really funny because it deletes the outer texture of my arm. You can put it on your offhand as well. And then I believe it is Y in order to open its menu, and all the slots are currently empty, and then you shift right click to open it up. Now, there's another spell I want. Strengthening. Now, strengthening requires 2 diamond dust and an iron dust, which we have. We got it through our catalyst conversion. Our catalytic converter, if you would. So we'll poke ourselves with the dagger. I'm using a hotkey, by the way, to do that. By the way, the order in which you place them, it doesn't matter. All of the 3 are unique. There's no set of, oh, if you place iron, diamond, diamond, that's a different spell than diamond, diamond, iron. No, they're the same. So this is a cool spell because it makes whatever you cast it on. So it'll target the thing in your offhand and make it unbreakable for 50 mana. So now it doesn't consume durability to cast spells. And now you're starting to get the picture, aren't you? All right, so you're using something. So I use the durability on the Mystic Code and 50 mana in order to make the Mystic Code unbreakable. So I'm essentially just spending 50 mana to make it unbreakable. But how does that value me? Well, it goes for a certain amount of uses, a certain amount of time. So now you're starting to see the picture. If I get another spell, I can then infinitely make that spell. Now you're starting to get the picture. But I don't have the mana for it, clearly. If only he knew another trick that would allow me to just somehow gain mana faster. Well, thank goodness for this spell, the Gaius, which prevents me from targeting creatures and hitting them. Now, gold and iron. No, it was an emerald. Now, this spell imposes a taboo, preventing me from hitting a creature. Now, why would I do this? Well, we just established my first thing makes this unbreakable. And then I switch to Gaius, and I target, let's say, a bison. Now I can no longer harm the bison. But why would I do this? Well, it's hard to see up there. But I'm now regenerating 4 Maho, and I'm not on a line. So you may have just realized, as long as I set creatures to be unhittable by me, I can increase my mana regen. And I can do this a theoretically infinite number of times. Now, it's hard to get to things like fish because water counts as a block. You have to be like in the same block as them to get them, which makes them annoying. So I'll probably fail a lot trying to get them. So let's not get them first. Because I know a place filled with creatures I don't need to be able to kill. You don't want to miss because it'll still cast the spell. So in case you're not quite following along, first I strengthen. Then I switch back my hand, then I switch to the Gaius scroll. Then I find, let's say, my spectral steed. Then I find a cute little bird. Then I find the raven. And now I regenerate 16 Mahoi per regeneration tick. And then I find a squirrel. Now you're starting to see the big picture here. Now I needed all that Mahoi early in order to do the catalyst exchange, in order to get it started. But now, as you can see, it's begun. Now, I do need to make sure not to forget to every so often just strengthen. But now that I have all this Mahoy, I can use strengthen a few times. Now I'm running low on Mahoy again. But that's okay, because I regenerate faster than I can cast the Gaius. As we all know, the gay ass is the greatest way to regenerate mana. There we now have the boar. Here, a motorcycle revving in the background. There's been lots of motorcycles today. It's been a great day. And with this, now I can fill this back up. So it took me the entirety of playing so far in order to get to a point where I could, reasonably get like 3,000 mana. I've been working on that since I got my first diamond. And now here I am I can't hurt like any of the passive mobs in the Twilight Forest. Oh, I haven't gotten a little bunny yet though, have I? There we go. A dwarf rabbit. How cute. And with all of this, my mana regens even faster. So I can just fill my gem back up. Now you're going to start remembering other creatures exist too. Now I'm not going to do the chicken because I do need to be able to kill chickens. There we go. Bighorn sheep. Still strengthened. I can check that every so often. And now, in case of emergencies, I accidentally mark something I need to be able to kill. I can just use the Gaius on it again and remove it to be able to kill it. But for now, that's not really a problem. Now, this also really helps for things like, I don't know, like here, we got this guy, right? Can I target him with the, whoops. If you use it once, the reason it consumes mana is it tells you all things that you're, this is targeting. There you go, now we've added the Lost Soul. And now we've got some mana. Whoops, I've accidentally strengthened the pickaxe tool. So it strengthens the thing in your first inventory slot or in your offhand if there's an option. But strengthening also has an additional effect. Well, it's not just for making something unbreakable. You know how this thing is strengthened, right? So now I can break blocks faster with it. And it absolutely increases the mining level as well. Hey, Dolphin, you mind coming up close to the land? Take me by the hand. And the reason I can do it on dirt is I can set a Gaius. It doesn't on a block. And if I have the Gaius set on the block, I can't pick that block up. Come on, I totally should have added. So I can't pick up that block, but it doesn't give me any more mana. It's just say hey, I don't want to pick up X block. It just stops me from doing so. So now I have access. Oh, before I sleep, because sleep increases it gives me back a bunch of Mahoy. Sleep, and then we can go back to filling up this gem. And I mean, I don't need to be able to kill all these fish type, right? I mean, that would be ridiculous. So yeah, let's see if we can grab a bucket. There we go. Oh shit, I think I had one. Oh, I'm drowning. There you go, bucket of cod. Maybe I can't do it to the other fish, or maybe I'm just really bad. This is something we're going to do real quick. Create a little hole here. Move the water. I missed somehow. There we go, I've added cod. Now we set them free. Whoops. Yeah, so I don't think I can do it to the other fish, but that's just the way I can do that. That's like, oh, don't you have enough? No! Later I'll need way more of these so that I can regen to the amount that I'll be expending. Come on, it's so close. There we go, I've added the spade fish. And now I can't harm those animals. That is the big downside. So, you know, I can't afford to use it on things like squids, because I need to be able to kill squids for their ink sacs. If I use it on a zombie, I'd be unable to hit zombies. You know, this could be extremely dangerous if I use it on the wrong creature. But creatures that yield no benefit when I kill them, you know, there's no reason not to just buy myself an Asian box turtle. I don't want to hurt that little guy. Add a tortoise. Now, it doesn't specifically add the Asian box turtle, it adds all of the tortoises. My self-imposed taboos make it so I cannot harm those creatures. But in exchange for creating those taboos, I regenerate 40 mana. I'm a grizzly bear. I don't want to be able to hurt that. You see, this is all about playing the game the pacifist route. You're a cute salamander, dude. Can I add you to the unkillable list, please? The water's annoying because water counts as a block in the way. I have the wrong spell on? No. Well, these are salmon, or salmon. I call them salmon. Do I think I can bucket them? Yeah. So now we can put you in a hole. Can I get you while you're in the water? Nope. Can't strip the water out, though. There we go. Be free. And now what's funny is I have a mod that makes it so villagers come with names. If you get a named creature, it doesn't work on them. So it makes it so I can't hurt that named creature, but it doesn't give me extra mana for it. Oh, this little dude, you know I don't want to hurt you. So it would just like, if I do it on another player, for instance, that player becomes unkillable. I don't need to be able to kill horses, probably. Pigs, jury's out. Yeah, like Yasuko here. If I were to use the AS on Yasuko, I would still I wouldn't regain mana off of him. Oh, come on. He was in range. Added the giant salamander. So if you're playing on multiplayer, it can be very useful. So you can't, if you have AoE attacks, which I don't know how you would get from a magic mod, but let's say you had the ability to hit an AoE. This would negate your ability to hit an AoE. A lodestone. I already have sort of a spawner for this type of creature. Hey, free loot. No, like technically I could have assigned to them, like, yeah, just when I can no longer hit you guys, but why would I want to not be able to hit pillagers? That seems like a type of mob I would want to kill. If I go into the woods here and I find a big cat, you gonna attack me? If not, then I'm not gonna hurt you or your kind ever. But yeah, this is the fun of self-imposed taboos. Speaking of taboos, have you guys heard of that new game on the internet? Let's just call it The Coffin for short. Man, that... And the worst part is that game has an extremely high amount of positive reviews. And for a pretty decent amount of players, which unfortunately means that people probably unironically like that game. It's probably, most of the people playing it are probably going to be you weirdos. But there's still a segment of the population that is playing that game who probably are like, I'm aware of what it is, but with this many positive reviews, it must actually be good. And that's terrifying to me, is that theoretically, that could be an actually good game. And I'm not going to try it. That's not... The red flags from that game are enough to dissuade me. Maybe not everybody, but it's enough for me. Maybe I'm going to need to settle this food problem. But I'm going to end the episode here, as you've seen me make some fairly serious progress. Ooh, iron golems. I don't want to be able to hit those. We'll just assign to the iron golem real quick. There we go. Now we'll end it off here. And cat? I don't see the cat. I heard it though. Anyways, oh, there it is. Bam. Added cat. And I will end the episode here. Just see, we're already at exactly what we expended. But I needed all of that mana that we had generated in order to get to this point. And I will be back in a moment for me, but it'll be tomorrow for you.